The Galactic Academy's Xenobiology lecture hall buzzed with the usual mixture of clicks, chirps, and synthesized voices as students from across the known worlds settled into their seats. Cadet Mira sat in the back row, Rex lying quietly at her feet, a privilege granted only after months of petitioning the Academy Board. Today's lesson, Primitive Defense Mechanisms in Non-Sentient Fauna. Professor Kixthar, a towering Valkorian with crystalline skin that refracted the overhead lights into dancing rainbows, activated the holographic display. Images of creatures from dozens of worlds materialized in the air, armored beasts with plasma-generating organs, swarm insects that could strip a ship's hull in minutes, predators with molecular disruption venom. And now, Kixthar announced with what Mira had learned to recognize as condescension, we examine Earth's so-called dangerous fauna. A three-dimensional rendering of a grizzly bear appeared, rotating slowly. Scattered laughter rippled through the auditorium. Primitive claws, observed Zek, a Thorsian student whose species had conquered 3 star systems before humanity had invented the wheel. No energy projection whatsoever. Look at its maximum velocity, added Silra, her tentacles writhing with amusement. My species' hatchlings move faster. Mira's jaw tightened, but she remained silent. This wasn't the first time, and it wouldn't be the last. Earth had been the newest addition to the galactic community, and humanity's homeworld was consistently ranked among the least hostile environments in charted space. No acid rain, no predators larger than elephants, no atmospheric pressures that could crush starship hulls. The presentation continued. Lions, sharks, venomous snakes each met with similar derision. Even the saltwater crocodile, which Mira knew could exert a bite force of over 3,000 pounds, drew nothing but dismissive clicks. These creatures, Kixthar concluded, represent the upper threshold of threat on Earth. As you can see, humans evolved in an environment so benign that their planet's apex predators would be considered nursery pets on most of our worlds. Beneath Mira's desk, Rex's ears twitched. The German shepherd had been unusually still throughout the lecture, but she could feel the tension in his body through the leash wrapped loosely around her wrist. In fact, the professor continued, I understand Cadet Mira has brought one of Earth's working animals with her today. A dog, I believe. All eyes and various sensory organs turned toward the back of the room. Mira felt her face flush. Perhaps you'd like to bring your companion forward, Cadet? Let the class observe this Earth predator up close. It wasn't a request. Mira stood and Rex rose with her, his movements fluid and controlled. They walked down the aisle between rows of seats, alien students leaning away or craning forward with curiosity. She could hear the whispered comments, it's so small. No armor at all. What does it even eat? They reached the front of the lecture hall. Kixthar gestured to the space beside the podium. Please demonstrate your animal's capabilities. Mira glanced at Rex. His dark eyes met hers, calm and alert. She knew that look. He was reading the room, assessing every movement, every sound. People often mistook a dog's friendliness for simplicity, but Mira had worked with enough military and police canines to know better. Rex had been trained for hostile environment operations before joining her at the academy. Rex is a working dog, Mira explained, her voice steady despite the hostile attention. His species was selectively bred over thousands of years for intelligence, loyalty, and loyalty. Zek barked a laugh. Emotional attachment? That's not a survival trait, it's a weakness. Agreed, Silra added. On Thalax Prime, we eliminated such inefficient bonding instincts millennia ago. Cooperation, yes. But this sentimentality, it serves no tactical purpose. Before Mira could respond, the lecture hall's doors burst open with a pneumatic hiss. A Krell warrior, one of the Academy's security force, stumbled through, his exoskeleton cracked and leaking the yellow fluid his species used for both blood and hydraulics. Breach, he rasped through his translator. Sector 7, Xylar Beast. Escaped from containment, the room erupted into chaos. Students scrambled for exits. Professor Kixthar's crystalline skin flashed from blue to red, a species-wide alarm signal. Only Mira and Rex remained still, the latter's body now coiled tight as a spring. A roar echoed through the corridor outside, a sound like tearing metal and grinding stone. The Xylar beast appeared in the doorway, a creature from a world where gravity was twice Earth standard. It stood 8 feet tall, covered in overlapping armor plates that could deflect plasma fire. Its 6 limbs ended in claws designed to tear through ship hulls. On its home world, it was an ambush predator. Here it was a killing machine. The wounded Krell guard tried to raise his weapon. The Xylar moved faster, one massive paw crushing the guard's thorax with a sickening crunch. Students screamed. Some tried to run. The Xylar's head swiveled, targeting the nearest movement. A small Denderi student frozen in terror. Mira felt the leash go taut, then snap. Rex was already moving. No one had seen a dog move like this, not these aliens. They didn't understand that Earth's so-called benign environment had produced something unique. Predators that didn't hunt for food, but for pack. For family. Rex hit the Xylar low, 70 pounds of muscle and bone slamming into the creature's leading leg joint. The impact wouldn't have even registered to most armored predators, but Rex wasn't trying to hurt it. Not yet. He was doing what sheepdogs and war dogs had done for thousands of years. He was controlling movement. The Xylar stumbled, confused by the small attacker. It swung a massive arm. Rex was already gone, circling, barking, a sound that carried more than noise. It carried intent, challenge, threat. The beast turned, tracking Rex, and that was the mistake. It had turned away from the students. Away from Mira, Rex changed tactics instantly. He went for the Xylar's face, leaping higher than physics should have allowed for his size, jaws locking onto the creature's sensory cluster. Not the armored plates, those were impenetrable, but the soft tissue around the eyes, the vulnerable neural interface nodes. The Xylar shrieked, a sound that cracked one of the lecture hall's windows. It thrashed, throwing Rex against a desk. The dog landed hard but was up again in seconds, limping now but still moving, still between the monster and the students. Security forces poured through the doors, weapons charged. But they hesitated. One wrong shot could hit the dog, the students, or trigger an explosion in the energy-saturated air. Rex didn't hesitate. He'd bought time, created distance, turned a massacre into a tactical situation. Now he just had to hold, the Xylar charged. Rex dodged, not away but toward, sliding under the creature's guard. His teeth found the vulnerable joint where leg met body, the same weak point he'd hit first. This time he didn't let go. The beast screamed again, ichor spraying. Security weapons hummed to life. 3 plasma bolts hit the Xylar simultaneously and it collapsed, twitching. The silence that followed was absolute. Rex limped back to Mira, leaving bloody paw prints on the polished floor. She dropped to her knees, hands running over his body, checking for serious injuries. Bruised ribs, maybe. Certainly exhausted, but alive. Still here. Professor Kicksthar's voice broke the silence, quieter now, respectful. I believe I may need to revise my lecture notes. Zek approached slowly, his earlier arrogance gone. It didn't fight for territory or food. Or mating rights? No, Mira said, still kneeling beside Rex, one hand buried in his fur. He fought for us. 'Cause that's what dogs do. It's what they've always done. Silra's tentacles curled in what Mira had learned was her species' gesture of respect. We eliminated loyalty because we thought it was weakness. But what your species calls loyalty, perhaps we would call it something else. Perhaps we would call it strength. Rex looked up at Mira, tail wagging once, slowly. She smiled through tears she hadn't realized were falling. Good boy, she whispered. Good boy, Rex. In the days that followed, the story spread through the Galactic Academy like wildfire. The small Earth predator, the loyal companion, the dog that stood against a Xylar beast and won, not through superior strength or natural weapons, but through something the universe's most advanced species had forgotten or never understood. Courage, loyalty, love. Earth animals might not have energy weapons or molecular armor, but they had something else, something humanity had learned to recognize and cherish over thousands of years of companionship. They had heart, and in a cold, vast universe, that was its own kind of fury.